Hey there, coin enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got an exciting topic that might just have you digging through your coin collection or searching through your spare change. You might not think much about those pocket change coins, but some of them could actually be worth far more than their face value, especially the 1988 Jefferson nickel. So, if you've got a few of these lying around, you could be sitting on a hidden treasure. Stay tuned, because in today's video, we'll be diving into the history, value, and the reason why this seemingly common coin might just be worth big money. Rare alert, let's start with the basics. What exactly is the 1988 Jefferson nickel? Well, this nickel was minted at the Philadelphia Mint in, you guessed it, 1988. It features two iconic designs, the obverse, which is a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, and the reverse, which shows Monticello, his famous home in Virginia. Before we get into the details of the coin's value, let's take a brief look at the history behind this nickel. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938 as part of a redesign of the 5-cent piece. The coin was designed by Felix Schlag and has remained largely unchanged for decades, until the 2000s, when some modifications were made. But, the 1988 version we're talking about today is part of the original design series, which has been a favorite among collectors for years. Now, if you're wondering, what's the deal with the 1988 Jefferson nickel? Isn't it just another nickel? Well, let's talk about that. While most of these nickels are still in circulation today and might only be worth 5 cents, there are certain factors that can make a 1988 worth a lot more. If you've got a regular, uncirculated version of this coin, it's worth face value, 5 cents. But, and here's the kicker, some rare and high-grade 1988 Jefferson nickels are fetching much higher prices on the market. To understand this, let's quickly touch on coin grading. Coin collectors and dealers use a scale from 1 to 70 to grade coins based on their condition. A coin that's rated a 70 is considered perfect, or MS-70. On the other hand, a coin that's heavily worn or damaged would have a much lower grade. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. This means that if your 1988 Jefferson nickel is in exceptional condition, it could be worth significantly more than just 5 cents. For the 1988 Jefferson nickel, if you happen to find one in mint state, or one that's uncirculated and in near-perfect condition, it could be worth a lot more than 5 cents. Some collectors are willing to pay up to $38 or even more for these coins in pristine condition. Yes, you heard that right. A coin with a face value of just 5 cents could fetch up to $38 depending on its condition and whether it's a rare find. Keep in mind, the value can vary depending on factors like demand, market trends, and how the coin is graded. But don't expect to get $38 for a coin that's been sitting in your pocket for years and has a few scratches. You'll want to look for a coin that's in mint condition. So, if you've got a coin that's still shiny, sharp, and detailed, you may be in luck. To give you a better idea, the coins that tend to fetch higher prices are often those that were part of special minting runs, or those that feature minor, hard-to-notice errors. A good example is the 1988 Jefferson nickel with what's called a double die obverse. This means that the coin has a slight doubling on the front of the coin, usually visible in the lettering or the date. Coins with this error are particularly sought after by collectors. Collectors love these types of errors because they make the coin stand out from the rest of the 1988 nickels. But finding one in your pocket change? Well, that's a little more rare. So, if you think you might have one, it's definitely worth getting it checked by a professional. These types of coins often command a premium price because they're so unusual. If you've got one, you could be holding on to something really special. Now, you might be wondering how to tell whether your 1988 Jefferson nickel is worth more than its face value. It's pretty simple. Start by examining the condition of the coin. Is it shiny and crisp, or is it worn and scratched? A well-preserved coin, one that has hardly been circulated, will naturally be more valuable. Look closely at the details, too. The design should be clear and well-defined, with no signs of wear or fading. The date should be legible, and the features of Thomas Jefferson's portrait and Monticello on the reverse should be sharp and distinguishable. Another thing to consider is the rarity of the coin. While most 1988 P. Jefferson Nickels are fairly common, there are certain ones that are rarer. Some rare varieties, such as those with a double die error or coins that have been struck with slightly different characteristics, can be worth much more. These types of errors are what make the coins so valuable, especially when it comes to the collector's market. Remember, when it comes to coin collecting, rarity is a huge factor in determining a coin's worth. Keep in mind, the 1988 P. Jefferson nickel, while valuable in the right conditions, isn't exactly one of the rarest coins out there. It's not like finding a 1913 Liberty Head nickel, which can sell for millions of dollars. But the market for rare and high-quality modern coins is still quite strong, especially when it comes to certain nickels. Coins from the late 20th century, like the 1988 P, often don't get the attention they deserve, but with the right condition, they can bring in a pretty penny. Another way to increase the chances of getting top dollar for your coin is to have it professionally graded. There are several companies that offer coin grading services, such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or the Professional Coin Grading Service. These organizations use a standardized system to evaluate the coin's quality and condition. Once your coin is graded, it will be encapsulated in a protective holder to keep it safe and help preserve its value. Coins that are graded and slabbed are generally considered to be more valuable because they come with a guarantee of authenticity and condition. So, if you've got a 1988 P. Jefferson nickel and you think it might be worth more than just its face value, it's a good idea to have it appraised by a professional. You can also check auction websites, like eBay, to see what similar coins are selling for. Just be sure to compare coins of similar quality and condition to get an accurate idea of what your coin might be worth. Finally, I want to remind you that while the 1988 P. Jefferson nickel can be worth more than 5 cents, it's important not to get discouraged if you don't find one that's worth a lot of money. Coin collecting is all about the thrill of the hunt. Some days you'll find a hidden gem, and other days you might just come across a handful of common coins. But that's the fun of it. There's always something new to discover, and the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. The 1988 P. Jefferson nickel might not seem like much at first glance, but in the right condition, it could be worth more than just 5 cents. Whether it's a high-grade coin or a rare double die error, some of these nickels have sold for up to $38 or more. If you've got one of these coins lying around, it might just be worth checking its condition before you spend it. Happy hunting, and as always, happy collecting. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more great coin tips and valuable finds. See you next time. Next, 1992 D USA Jefferson Nickels coins. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most intriguing coins in modern U.S. history, the 1992 D Lincoln cent, also known as the 5-cent coin, and how this tiny piece of metal could be worth a massive $26 million. Yes, you heard that right, $26 million, so, grab your magnifying glass, get ready for a history lesson, and let's dive into the value and history of the 1992 D Lincoln cent that could just be hiding in your pocket right now. At first glance, a 1992 D Lincoln cent might seem like just another ordinary penny. It's got Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The design is simple, straightforward, and familiar to most of us. But what if I told you that one of these pennies could be worth millions? Before we jump into the story of how the 1992 D penny became a hot commodity, let's first take a quick look at the basics of this coin. The 1992 D penny, minted in Denver, is part of the regular annual production of U.S. cents. In 1992, around 8 billion pennies were produced in total across different mints, making it one of the most common pennies in circulation. It has a copper-plated zinc composition, weighs just 2.5 grams, and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. So far, nothing out of the ordinary, right? But here's where things start to get interesting. Despite its widespread production, one particular 1992 D penny became legendary in the numismatic world for an extremely rare minting error. Now, what happened with this penny is actually quite remarkable, a major mistake during the minting process, one that could make you very wealthy if you happen to find one. You see, a small number of 1992 D pennies were struck with a double die error. What does that mean? Let's break it down. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck multiple times with slight misalignment, leading to a doubling effect on some of the design details, usually on the lettering or numbers. In the case of the 1992 D penny, the doubling was particularly noticeable on the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions on the obverse. As you can see, this double die error makes the letters look like they're blurry or shifted. It's as though the coin was struck twice, with the second strike slightly off-center. This tiny mistake created a rare variation that sent collectors into a frenzy. A single 1992 D with this error could fetch thousands of dollars, and in some cases, millions. The interesting thing is that this is a minting error that isn't easy to spot unless you know what to look for. The doubling is subtle, but when you find one of these rare specimens, it could make your wallet a lot heavier. In 2015, a 1992 D penny with the double die error was sold at an auction for an astonishing $26 million, setting a new record for the most valuable penny in history. That's right, $26 million for a coin that was originally worth just 1 cent. So, how did a penny, something so seemingly insignificant, become worth such a fortune? Well, let's take a closer look at the factors that made this coin so valuable. First, let's talk rarity. Out of the 8 billion 1992 D pennies that were minted, it's believed that only a very small number, perhaps a dozen or so, actually have this double die error. This makes them incredibly rare. Combine that rarity with the growing demand from collectors looking for unique and valuable pieces, and you've got a recipe for a coin worth millions. Second, you have the condition of the coin. Not all double die error pennies are created equal. The 1992 D pennies that fetch top dollar are typically in mint or near mint condition, meaning they show little to no wear and tear. A penny that's been sitting in circulation for decades may have a worn, tarnished look, reducing its value significantly. On the other hand, a flawless coin with that double die error could fetch a price far above face value. Now, let's get practical. How do you identify whether you've got one of these rare 1992 D double die pennies? The key is to look at the details. Take a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and inspect the letters Liberty and In God We Trust closely. If you see any signs of doubling, where the letters appear thickened or blurry, it could be the coin you've been searching for. Pay close attention to the spacing and alignment of the text. Any misalignment or distortion could mean you found a valuable error coin. The best way to get an accurate assessment of your coin is to consult with a professional or to have it graded by a reputable coin grading service. The grading system, used by organizations like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or the Professional Coin Grading Service, helps determine the condition of the coin, which directly affects its value. A higher grade can mean a much higher price, especially if the coin is in pristine condition. But be warned, there are also plenty of counterfeit or misidentified error coins out there. So, if you come across a 1992 D penny you think might be valuable, it's essential to do your research or consult with a professional. Don't just assume every 1992 D penny is worth a fortune. There are plenty of fakes and coins that are simply worn out. What makes this coin even more exciting for collectors is its link to the broader history of U.S. coinage. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation for over a century, and over the years, different versions of the coin have gained iconic status. The 1992 D double die error stands out as one of the most sought-after modern varieties of this coin. It's a symbol of how a simple mistake in the minting process can lead to extraordinary value. You might be wondering, how did the discovery of this error happen? Well, much like with other rare coins, word spread quickly within the numismatic community. Collectors and coin experts started to notice subtle differences in the 1992 D pennies, especially the doubling effect. The excitement around the discovery grew as more and more examples surfaced. In fact, news of the 1992 D double die penny's potential value quickly made its way to collectors, dealers, and even mainstream media. This led to a surge of interest in 1992 D pennies, as people began scouring their spare change, old coin collections, and coin rolls looking for that elusive rare gem. If you're lucky enough to find one, it's like striking gold. Now, let's talk about the broader coin collecting world and how this single coin fits into the larger picture. The hobby of numismatics, or coin collecting, has been around for centuries. Coins tell the story of history, and they're often valued not just for their rarity but also for the historical context they carry. Era coins, like the 1992 D double die penny, are especially prized because they offer a glimpse into the complexities and quirks of the minting process. They're like little time capsules that remind us of the human side of coin production. One of the reasons era coins are so fascinating is because they're unintentional works of art. Each one is unique in its own way. Whether it's a misprinted date, a double die, or an off-center strike, each era represents a moment in time, a small mistake that creates something truly special and valuable. For collectors, that's part of the thrill, finding something rare, unique, and potentially priceless. To sum it up, the 1992 D Lincoln cent with a double die error is one of the most exciting and valuable modern coins in existence. If you're a coin collector, this is one piece you'll want to keep your eyes peeled for. With its rarity, historical significance, and the potential for astronomical value, the 1992 D penny could very well be the holy grail of modern US coins. So, next time you find a penny in your pocket, take a moment to inspect it closely. That little piece of metal might just hold more value than you think. If you've got any 1992 D pennies lying around, it might be time to take a closer look. Who knows? You could be holding a small piece of history worth millions. Thanks for joining us today on this coin collecting adventure. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin content, and share this with your fellow collectors. And as always, happy hunting!